Missing Love by Carla Blaschka. The crowd was quiet. Stunned might be a better word. They had come out to report on the city's new planned community for housing the homeless. "Are you kidding us?" seemed the general opinion. The spokesperson ignored the murmur and continued to extol the virtues of the site. My reporter was persistent with his questions. Again, he gave it the best throw he could, but it didn't make it past her face off against the hostile crowd. He did get some response as she said, "We are trying to address a significant issue that we have in the city in terms of safe, secure places for homeless people." The murmurs of the crowd gathered momentum, started to rise. Someone shouted, "Talk about what people actually need. The right to a good job with living wages, with union rights. How does the union feel about this?" The susurration got stronger. I could hear spots of "Yeah!" The government hack. "Oh, I'm sorry." The speaker raised her hand for quiet. "There is likely some confusion. I can understand that. But this project has nothing to do with the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. This land is owned by the city, and the shipping containers were purchased outright from a vendor." We all looked at the acre of containers stacked 3 high. They had been fashioned into dormitories, the doors removed on one end, and plastic strips hung to keep the weather and claustrophobia out. They were just rows of mattresses. The more agile climbed up the stairs to the 2nd and 3rd floors. Also provided on the ground were honey buckets and a covered, but not enclosed, wash station. Compared to sleeping in the bushes, it might have been an improvement, but not by much. Heat was provided by Mr. Buddy units. There was some basic lighting inside. The security lamp posts dotted around made sure it was never completely dark. The best feature of the site were the lockers, allowing people to lock up their stuff so they didn't have to drag it around with them all day. It was getting colder. Shelters were full. The city got points for trying, but I wasn't here to participate in their latest Band-Aid. I was here with my reporter to catch some film and a quote from the site's biggest opponent, Matt Carmack. He was always good copy. He hated the homeless, called them names. Lazy freeloaders were his favorite, and he thought they should all be jailed, not mollycoddled like this. He was on record as being indignant that people harassed him for his views, that the decision to help out with shelter and containment encampments will be used to vilify Americans who are unwilling to assent to the new orthodoxy. Carmack always talked like that. He was a hoot. He sold papers, and my boss wanted a quote. Jerry, my reporter, was trying to get in front of Carmack as he was shouting, trying to be heard. I came up behind him, camera at the ready. All of a sudden he fell backward, toward me, as if pushed. I instinctively dropped to my knees to catch his head on my leg so it wouldn't slam against the asphalt. I put the camera down beside me, which nearly got me fired later. I was told I should have given it to Jerry. If I had, we'd have had the murder on camera. I leaned over the face on my thighs. As I did, the necklace I wore dangled free. It was from my mother, one of those broken-in-two love tokens. Before she died, my mom told me my dad, the one I never knew, had given it to her. It was a heart with a tree welded on, custom-made. She wore it always. I reached forward to feel for his heart, if he had one, and noticed the necklace he wore bunched up under his chin. It was almost like mine. When I went to lift it up to get a better look, I realized my hands were sticky and red. He looked up at me, the pendant dangling right in front of his eyes, and said, "Joyce?" That was my mother's name. Right then Carmack's head snapped sideways so violently it left me holding the chain and pendant. All I saw was a steel-toed Timberland boot as it connected with his head and walked away. The boots were lost in the crowd immediately. He died without regaining consciousness. My only inheritance, a perfectly matched necklace, and the mystery of why 2 people who had a son never knew each other, but loved one another all the same. Thank you.